Section 10 of Beowulf. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. This reading by Tad E. Beowulf, by Unknown. Translated by Francis Barton Gummere. 27. Came now to Ocean the ever-courageous hardy henchmen, their harness bearing, woven war-sarks. The warden marked, trusty as ever, the earl's return. From the height of the hill no hostile words reached the guest as he rode to greet them, but welcome he called to that wetter clan, as the sheen-mailed spoilers to ship marched on. Then on the strand with steeds and treasure and armor their roomy and ring-dight ship was heavily laden. High its mast rose over Hrothgar's hoarded gems. A sword to the boat-guard Beowulf gave, mounted with gold on the mead bench, since he was better esteemed that blade possessing heirloom old. Their ocean keel boarding they drove through the deep, and dayland left. A sea-cloth was set, a sail with ropes firm to the mast, the flood timbers moaned. Nor did wind over billows that waves simmer blow across from her course. The craft sped on, foam-necked, it floated forth o'er the waves, keel firm bound over briny currents, till they got them sight of the gayish cliffs, home-known headlands. High the boat, stirred by winds, on the strand up drove. Helpful at haven the harbour guard stood, who long already for loved companions by the water had waited and watched afar. He bound to the beach the broad-bosomed ship with anchor bands, lest ocean billows that trusty timber should tear away. Then Beowulf bade them bear the treasure, gold and jewels. No journey far was it thence to go to the giver of rings, Higelac Hrethling. At home he dwelt by the sea wall close, himself and clan. Haughty that house, a hero the king, high the hall, and Herged right young, wise and wary. Though winters few in those fortress walls, she had found a home, Hereth's daughter. Nor humble her ways, nor grudge she gifts to the Geatish men. Of precious treasure, not Thereth's pride showed she, folk queen famed, or that fell deceit. Was none so daring that durst make bold, save her lord alone of the liegemen dear, that lady full in the face to look. But forged fetters he found his lot, bonds of death. And brief the respite, soon as they seized him his sword doom was spoken, and the burnished blade a baleful murder proclaimed and closed. No queenly way for woman to practice, though peerless she, that the waver of peace from warrior dear by wrath and lying his life should reave. But Hemming's kinsmen hindered this, for over their ale men also told, that of these folk horrors few she wrought, onslaught of evil after she went, gold-becked bride, to the brave young prince, atheling haughty, and Offa's hall o'er the fallow flood, at her father's bidding safely sought, where since she prospered, royal, throned, rich in goods, fain of the fair life fate had sent her, and leal of love to the lord of warriors. He of all heroes I heard of ever, from sea to sea of the sons of earth most excellent seemed. Hence Offa was praised for his fighting, and feeing by far-off men. The spear-bold warrior, wisely he ruled over his empire. Eomer woke to him help of heroes, Hemming's kinsman, grandson of Garmund, grim in war. 28. Hasten the hardy one, henchman with him, sandy strand of the sea to tread in widespread ways. The world's great candle sun shone from south. They strode along with sturdy steps to the spot they knew, where the battle-king young, his burge within, slayer of Ongen Theo, shared the rings, shelter of heroes. To Higelac Beowulf's coming was quickly told, that there in the court the clansman's refuge, the shield companion, sound and alive, hail from the hero play homeward strode. With haste in the hall, by highest order room for the rovers was readily made. By his sovereign he sat, come safe from battle, kinsman by kinsman. His kindly lord he first had greeted in gracious form with many words. The mead dispensing came through the high hall. Harith's daughter, winsome to warriors, wine-cup bore to the hands of the heroes. Hygelac then his comrade fairly with question plied in the lofty hall, sore longing to know what manner of sojourn the sea Geats made. What came of thy quest, my kinsman Beowulf, when thy yearning suddenly swept thee yonder battle to seek o'er the briny sea, combat in Heorot? Hrothgar couldst thou aid at all, the honoured chief in his wide-known woes? With waves of care my sad heart seethed. I sore mistrusted my loved one's venture. Long I begged thee by no means to seek thy slaughtering monster, but suffer the South Danes to settle their feuds themselves with Grendel. Now God be thanked that safe and sound I can see thee now. Beowulf spake, the bairn of Ecgtheow. 'Tis unknown and unhidden, Hygelac lord, to many men that meeting of ours, struggle grim between Grendel and me, which we fought on the field where full too many sorrows he wrought for the Scylding victors, evils unending. These and I avenged, no boast can be breed of Grendel, any on earth for that uproar at dawn, from the longest lived of the loathsome race in fleshly fold. But first I went Hrothgar to greet in the hall of gifts, where Halfdane's kinsman high renown, soon as my purpose was plain to him, assigned me a seat by his son and heir. The liegemen were lusty. My life days never such merry men over mead and hall have I heard under heaven. The high-born queen, people's peace-bringer, passed through the hall, cheered the young clansmen, clasps of gold ere she sought her seat to sundry gave. Oft to the heroes Hrothgar's daughter to earls in turn the ale-cup tendered, she whom I heard these hall companions Freya Roe name, when fretted gold she preferred the warriors. Promised is she, gold-decked maid, to the glad son of Froda. Sage this seems to the Scyldings' friend, kingdom's keeper. He counts it wise the woman to wed, so and ward off feud, store of slaughter. But seldom ever where men are slain does the murder-spear sink, but briefest while, though the bride be fair. Nor haply will like it the Heathobord lord, as a little each of his liegemen all, when a thane of the Danes in that doughty throng goes with the lady along their hall, and on him the old-time heirlooms glisten hard and ring-decked, Heathobard's treasure, weapons that once they wielded fair until they lost at the linden play, liegemen leal and their lives as well. Then over the ale, on their heirloom gazing, some ash-wielder old, who has all in mind that spear-death of men, he is stern of mood, heavy at heart, and the young hero tests the temper and tries the soul, and war-hate wakens with words like these: Ken that sword, which to the fray thy father carried in his final feud, 'neath the fighting mask, dearest of blades, when the Danish slew him, and wielded the war-place on Withergild's fall, after havoc of heroes those hardy Scyldings? Now the son of a certain slaughtering Dane, proud of his treasure, paces this hall, joys in the killing, and carries the jewel that rightfully ought to be owned by thee. Thus he urges and eggs him all the time with keenest words, till occasion offers that Freya Roe's thane, for his father's deed, after bite of brand in his blood, must slumber, losing his life, but that liegeman flies, living away for the land he kens, and thus be broken on both their sides oaths and earls, when Ingild's breast wells with war-hate, and wife-love now after the care billows, cooler grows. So I hold not the Heathobard's faith due to the Danes, or their during love and pact of peace, but I pass from that, turning to Grendel. O giver of treasure, and saying in full how the fight resulted, hand fray of heroes, when heaven's jewel had fled o'er far fields, that fierce sprite came, night foe savage, to seek us out, where safe and sound we sentried the hall. To Hanskjöld then, was that harassing deadly. His fall there was fated. His first was slain, girded warrior. Grendel on him turned murderous mouth on our mighty kinsman, and all the brave man's body devoured. Yet none the earlier, empty-handed, would the bloody-toothed murderer, mindful of bale, outward go from the gold-decked hall. But me he attacked in his terror of might, with greedy hand grasped me. A glove hung by him, wide and wondrous, wound with bands, and in artful wise it all was wrought by devilish craft of dragon skins. Me therein, an innocent man, the fiendish foe was fain to thrust with many another. He might not so when I all angrily upright stood, there long to relate how that land destroyer I paid in kind for his cruel deeds, yet there, my prince, this people of thine got fame by my fighting. He fled away, and a little space his life preserved, but there stayed right him his stronger hand, left in Heorot, heartsick thence, on the floor of the ocean that outcast fell. Me for this struggle the Scyldings' friend paid in plenty with plates of gold, with many a treasure when morn had come, and we all at the banquet board sat down. Then was song and glee. The gray-haired Scylding, much tested, told of these times of yore, whiles the hero his heart bestirred would of delight. Now lays he chanted of sooth and sadness, or set aright legends of wonder. The wide-hearted king, or the years of his youth, he would yearn at times for strength of struggles. Now stricken with age, hoary hero, his heart surged full when wise with winters he wailed their flight. Thus in the hall the whole of that day at ease we feasted, till fell o'er earth another night. Anon, full ready in greed of vengeance, Grendel's mother set forth all doleful. Dead was her son, through war-hate of wedders. Now woman monstrous, with fury fell, a foeman she slew, avenged her offspring. From Asherah old, loyal counselor, life was gone. Nor might they e'en, when morning broke, those Danish people, their death-domed comrade burn with brands. On balefire lay the man they mourned under mountain stream. She had carried the corpse with cruel hands. For Hrothgar, that was the heaviest sorrow of all that had laden the lord of his folk. The leader then by thy life besought me, sad was his soul, in the sea waves' coil to play the hero and hazard my being. For glory of prowess my guerdon he pledged. I then in the waters, 'tis widely known, that sea-floor guardian savage found. Hand to hand there a while we struggled, billows welled blood in the briny hall. Her head I hewed with a hardy blade from Grendel's mother, and gained my life, though not without danger. My doom was not yet. Then the haven of heroes, Healfdena's son, gave me and guerdon great gifts of price. 29. So held this king to the customs old, that I wanted for naught in the wage I gained the meed of my might. He made me gifts, Healfdena's heir, for my own disposal. Now to thee, my prince, I prefer them all, gladly give them. Thy grace alone can find me favor. Few indeed have I of kinsmen, save Healach thee. Then he bade them bear him the boar-head standard, the battle-helm high, and breastplate grey, the splendid sword. Then spake in form, me this war gear the wise old prince Hrothgar gave, and his hest he added, that its story be straightway said to thee. A while it was held by Heorot king, for long time told of the land of Scyldings, yet not to his son the sovereign left it, to daring Heovard, dear as he was to him, his harness of battle. Well, hold thou it all. And I heard that soon passed o'er the path of this treasure, all apple fallow, 4 good steeds, each like the others, arms and horses, he gave to the king. So should kinsmen be, not weave one another the net of wiles, or with deep-hid treachery death contrive for neighbor and comrade. His nephew was ever by Healach held full dear, and each kept watch o'er the other's weal. I heard, too, the necklace To Herg he presented wonder-wrought treasure, which whilst Theo gave him sovereign daughter. 3 steeds he added, slender and saddle gray. Since such gift the gem gleamed bright on the breast of the queen. Thus showed his strain the son of Edge-Theo, as a man remarked for mighty deeds and acts of honor. At ale he slew not comrade or kin, nor cruel his mood, though of sons of earth his strength was greatest, a glorious gift that God had sent the splendid leader. Long was he spurned, and worthless by Geatish warriors held. Him at mead the master of clans failed full oft to favor at all. Slack and shiftless the strong men deemed him, profitless prince, but payment came to the warrior honored for all his woes. Then the bulwark of earls bade bring within hardy chieftain Hrethel's heirloom, garnished with gold, no Geat e'er known in shape of a sword, a statelier prize. The brand he laid in Beowulf's lap, and of hides assigned him 7,000, with house and high seat. They held in common land alike by their line of birth, inheritance, home, but higher the king because of his rule o'er the realm itself. Now further it fell with the flight of years, with harryings horrid, that Hygelac perished, and Hardred too, the hewing of swords under the shield wall slaughtered lay. When him at the van of the victor folk sought hardy heroes, Hethoscylfings in arms o'erwhelming Heroric's nephew. Then Beowulf came as king this broad realm to wield, and he ruled it well 50 winters, a wise old prince warding his land, until one began in the dark of night a dragon to rage. In the grave on the hill a hoard it guarded, in the stone barrow steep. A straight path reached it unknown to mortals. Some man, however, chanced by chance that cave within to the heathen hoard. In hand he took a golden goblet, nor gave he it back, stole with it away while the watcher slept, by thievish wiles, for the warden's wrath prince and people must pay betimes. End of section 10.